Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. She was a kind, gentle, and beautiful child with the most radiant smile. Cinderella had a heart full of love, but unfortunately, fate hadn't been kind to Cinderella. Her mother had passed away, leaving her alone with her selfish stepmother. The stepmother had two daughters of her own, and she was terribly jealous of Cinderella's beauty and kind heart. She treated Cinderella unfairly, making her do all the housework and dress in rags, while her own daughters wore fine clothes and lived in luxury. Despite the cruelty she faced, Cinderella remained kind and gentle. She would often seek comfort in the garden, talking to the birds and the animals who had become her dearest friends. One day, the kingdom received exciting news. The prince was hosting a grand ball at the palace, and every maiden in the land was invited. Cinderella's stepsisters were overjoyed and spent weeks preparing. Cinderella watched her stepsisters with a sad smile, hoping she might be able to attend the ball and experience a bit of the magic she had heard about in her mother's stories. But her stepmother was insistent that Cinderella would stay home and continue with her chores. The night of the ball arrived, and Cinderella was left alone. She sat by the fireplace, tears in her eyes, wishing for just a taste of the magic her mother had told her about. Suddenly, a soft, sweet voice filled the room. It was her fairy godmother, a beautiful figure surrounded by a soft, glowing light. "Why are you crying, my dear?" the fairy godmother asked. Cinderella explained her wish to attend the ball, but how her stepmother had been unkind and refused to allow her to go. The fairy godmother smiled and said, "Don't worry, my child. You shall go to the ball." With a wave of her wand, Cinderella's rags were transformed into a stunning gown, and on her feet she wore glass slippers. Her fairy godmother turned a pumpkin into a magnificent carriage and mice into beautiful horses, so Cinderella could travel to the palace in style. Before she left, the fairy godmother gave Cinderella a piece of advice. "Remember, my dear, the magic will only last until midnight. When the clock strikes 12, you must leave." Cinderella thanked her fairy godmother and climbed into the magical carriage. As she arrived at the palace, she felt like a princess, her heart dancing with joy. The moment Cinderella entered the ballroom, the entire room fell silent. The prince, charmed by her beauty, approached her, and they danced together like a dream. Moral of the story: being kind and having a loving heart can help you through tough times. Even though Cinderella faced meanness and hard work, she stayed kind and gentle, and her goodness led to her happiness and success. The story also shows the importance of forgiveness, as Cinderella forgave her stepsisters, teaching us that being kind and forgiving are very important. Woohoo! You made it to the end of the video. If you had fun, give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our awesome adventures. Party Popper.